Well, I mean, there's certainly no doubt that there is such a thing as oppositional defiant disorder. I mean, I've met children with it, and I know it can be very, very challenging. Parents often feel desperate when they have a child with that. But I don't think it's as common as people think. It's kind of become like a nice label to slap on a kid who isn't doing what we want.
Yes.
Which in its more common garden variety form is a power struggle. So you just think about how powerless we parents feel right now when we're stuck at home, or even if we're going to work, our kids are stuck at home, or however we're doing this, and it is extremely, it shakes your ground. I mean, it just shakes everything, and all you want is to have some control over something. And all you did was you asked your kid to pick up their shoes, and they won't do it. Dang it, can't you just pick up your shoes? You can't, maybe, well, you're ODD. Well, here's the thing. Human beings need power. They need a sense of power and control over themselves. They need to feel a sense of agency, like I can manage things, myself. I don't need people telling me what to do all the time. Just imagine, how do you feel when people tell you what to do? Those are the people you probably avoid because you don't want to hear it. So think about children being just smaller versions and less developed versions of humans, but having every right and dignity of human beings, which includes the need to be loved, the need to be valued, to feel like they belong, to feel like they're powerful, and to just be curious and be kids, to experiment with things and play with things and learn things. So those needs are just as real for them as they are for us. So if you look at it from the child's perspective, they need to know that they have a sense of control over themselves. So does that mean you let them run ramshot over the house? No, it doesn't mean that. It means where you can, give your children an opportunity to use this power that they need to exercise in a way that's appropriate. So instead of pick up your shoes and getting into a power struggle over it, you could say, I notice your shoes are in the hallway. And if you're connected with them, they might go, oh God, whoops, and they'll put them away, done, okay? They may say, oh, I'm busy right now. I'll say, okay, well, that's fine. When do you think you'd like to pick them up, before dinner or right after dinner? They get to pick after dinner. Excellent. It's okay with you if I remind you? Yes. Okay. That's cooperation. So, and explosion avoided. And bonus, the child gets to use his power in a way that's helpful, that builds his own sense of confidence. I mean, it's nice for a child to feel confident in themselves, like I can do stuff. I can honor my agreements. And they really, 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 no matter how it feels in the moment, they really want to please you. At their very core, that you are their world. You are their source of everything that they need, which can feel overwhelming at times, but you really are that person. And to just, remember that. So, one of the simplest ways to deal with power struggles is literally to give choices. When they're really little, especially when they're 4 or younger, they may not have any ideas. Or you could say, well, what time would you like to do it by? And when we leave things really loose, it's hard for kids to meet those expectations. So if we have an expectation and agreement that we're going to do something by a certain time, whether it's a clock time or a just daily schedule kind of time, that gives your child a chance to respond in a responsible way and build their own sense of being reliable and how good that feels.
So I can imagine a parent listening to this saying, okay, and then what if they still don't do it? Is there a place for consequences in this approach?
I love this question. Okay, so my understanding for the first 10 years that I taught the class is that consequences are in my back pocket. So when I really lose control of things, I'm going to whip out the consequence. And that's good. So clearly my mind wasn't quite, you evolve over time. That wasn't it. So the question becomes for me, from my child's perspective, why is it that they don't want to cooperate and they don't want to do it? So, going back to what children need, which is to be loved and valued and feel like belonging, that's the quality of the relationship we have, and that's the connection you have with them. So if you are connected with your child, they will more than likely be more cooperative, because they feel their little inner cup is filled with knowing that you love them, that you're there for them, that you listen to them. Huge thing, listening. We want to be efficient and get things done. You can't be efficient when you're listening to somebody. You just have to surrender the time and listen. And I've learned this it's been a very hard thing for me, because I understand I'm a fixer, I'm an efficient person. I want to get things done. And there was Stephen Covey that said, you can be efficient with things, but you can't be efficient with people. And it's our love for our children that allows us, under the best of circumstances, to really be present and listen. So you ask yourself, if my child is uncooperative, what am I doing to put deposits in their emotional bank account? And that's another Stephen Covey term. Another person calls them goodwill accounts. But what investment have I made in my child, in our relationship? Have I spent time with them? Have I told them that I love them? Have I played with them, even just running around the house or running around the yard? How have I connected with them? Because when my children feel connected to me, they're more likely to be cooperative. So rather than punishing, like, the old timeout chair, where they're, punishment separates us. It puts the child at a disadvantage. They're smaller than us, until they're not, but we can still whip out the punishments, trying to control the behavior. And there's that word again, trying to control. Or we can, believe this is a good human being who is struggling for some reason. And I'd like to find out what it is, so that I can help them figure out what they need, help them get what they need if they need my help. Just, to listen and encourage. So I tend to think of, rather than consequences, which are necessary, because when you set a limit about something, the limit stands. And they can get as mad as they want about it. And I know. I understand. I'm so sorry. Well, next week you'll have your car back. It's okay. This week, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to drive you everywhere. I know it's not cool, Mom's, whatever, but it's only for a week, and then you get to try again. So it's very forward thinking, very encouraged. What can I learn from this? With my child, what can my child learn from this, and they can carry forward, rather than punishing, which makes them angry at you, makes them, if they got caught doing something, better being sneaky about it. It creates that clash of, well, wait till see what I'm going to do next.
Right.
And it all comes out of being separated. So, that's why I really appreciate the approach to parenting that makes you your child's ally instead of their adversary. But it does take a lot of energy. It takes time. We need support for it. And that's, going back to self-care. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is the way you take care of your family, by filling your cup so you can fill theirs.